Welcome back, everybody. It's a nice day outside, so I decided to shoot this part out in my backyard. We'll get into the questions and move on with the question and answer session. So the first question is, are you religious? Yeah, I believe in God, but I'm not going to start an evangelical church anytime soon, so I guess somewhere in the middle there. What's the tattoo on your side, or is it a birthmark? It's a tattoo, and it reads loyalty. Was there a firearm or piece of gear you were excited about but ended up disappointing you? Yeah, I guess the first one that just popped in my mind there was the Polish help-up from IO, the pistol. That one I thought had a lot of potential for a great SBR, and as I pointed out in the last video, it works now, but too many trips to the factory, you know, whenever you have to do that, it sort of sours you on the gun a little bit. So, yeah. Next question, does your hand smell like cabbage? No, they don't. I don't think now. How many of the guns you test are kept versus traded for other gear to test? Yeah, I really don't have any way to quantify that. A lot of them I do keep around. A lot of them I do sell off to get new stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it works. There's really no hard and fast rules. Some are, some aren't. It's kind of the best way I could answer that without going through each one. What's the average amount of rounds you shoot at the range? Again, it's going to be one of those depends kind of things, because when it's nice weather out, you know, I tend to stay out there a little bit longer, but here down in the Carolinas, it's very hot in the summer, it's pretty cold in the winter, so obviously on those days, less than on days that it's like it is today where it's like 75 and sunny, so probably 200 to 500 rounds, somewhere in that range, roughly. Peanut butter or Nutella? Peanut butter. Nutella is not even a food. It's like a chemical concoction, so I don't eat that. Will you get a Lionheart LH9? I hope so. I hope to get one in. I don't know if I'll end up buying it or if I'll get one sent to me or what the case is there. But yeah, one of these days I definitely do. It's a gun that looks like it's got a lot of potential. So yeah, hopefully. I noticed you run optics on your ARs. I don't think I've ever seen an optic on your AKs. Do you not like optics on AKs? So I generally do have optics on my ARs, that's true. But I definitely run them on AKs a lot here on the channel. I mean, there's been a lot of videos. I have a video on the Ultimax setup. I have a video on RS Regulates AK300 system. I use that a lot in pretty much any test I do in terms of accuracy. If it has a side rail, I almost always use it. And I've definitely used the Ultimac on quite a few, so I do. It's just not as conducive, I guess you could say, the optics, but with the side rail, it's not a big deal. Do you shoot or carry revolvers? I do not carry revolvers. I do shoot them. They have made appearances here on the channel, just not the majority of the videos, but you've seen a few revolvers here on the channel, those of you that have watched for a long time. They're out there. I do have them. I would like to hear your thoughts on the Arsenal SLR 107. I've been having a tough time deciding since I really don't know a whole lot about AKs. Okay, SLR 107 is a great rifle. No getting around it. A com block barrel, built on Steyr machining, as you guys know, which are considered by some to be the best barrels in the world. And I mean, I really couldn't argue that. They're good barrels. Lately, it seems to have some QC issues with some canted barrels. Now, canted sights are one thing in an AK, that's totally fine. As long as you can zero it, it's fine. But if your barrel is crooked, it's a whole different world. I've seen a few reports of that out there on the forums lately, but like anything, more likely than not, probably 98 to 99% of them are fine. Just the ones that people have problems with are the ones that are more likely to post about, obviously. So that's probably what's going on there, but no, it's a great rifle, for sure. I see a lot of people do EDC videos on what they carry every day. Yep, we've talked about this before. Generally Shield, Glock 26, occasionally the 380, occasionally the 19 and a 23 I'll throw in there. But that's generally what I carry, usually a knife as well, occasionally a light, just depends where I'm going and what I'm doing. What are you watching on TV these days? I watch a lot of news, a lot of sports, gun shows on the Sportsman's Channel. That's pretty much it. You can ask my wife, she'll laugh at that comment, but yeah, it's pretty much all I watch. Show us your collection. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't own guns, obviously. Owning guns would be crazy. Besides the ones that are registered with the ATF. Can you do a review on other optics you have? I think I saw a Bushnell 1x4X in the video, so just think about that, right? But I get this type of question a lot, so do a review on a bunch of different things. Well, how would I mean, I could do a review on a bunch of different things, like 5 optics I own, for instance. But if you think about how searching works, like a lot of people find me because they search how to clean an AR, for instance, one of my more popular videos. Well, that pops up a video, or like Glock 19 Gen 3, that pops up a video titled "Other Optics I Own." No one's gonna find that. So I tend to review products one by one basis. So the Bushnell 1x4 will be reviewed coming up here in the future for sure. It's a good product for the money. Again, there are probably better ones, but they tend to cost more. Okay, what is your preferred AR-15 gas system length and why? Okay, so let's think about this real quick. So generally speaking, you have your carbine length gas system that has a 14.5 inch barrel per spec. Your mid-length barrel has generally a 16-inch barrel. These are generalities here. I'll talk about exceptions here in a minute. And then your rifle length has about a 20-inch barrel, generally speaking. Now, if you look at the gas system on those rifles, the gas port on the barrel is going to be generally 7 to 8 inches from the end of the muzzle, if that makes sense. So that's how they're designed to run optimally. That calculates dwell time and all that stuff to have everything lined up as it should be per spec, if you will, the military spec that's out there. Now, there are other companies that have done very good things in terms of putting mid lengths on like 14.5 and 14.7 inch barrels. Palmetto State, Spikes, and Bravo Company and Noveski, they all do that, and they all do a good job of it. So they can't alter the size of the port to alter the gas that's going into the system. If we're talking about 16-inch barrels in general, I do prefer the mid-length. It's a little bit softer shooting. It's going to put a little less wear on your parts than a carbine length system. That said, take a look at something like the Colt 6920. 16-inch barrel, carbine length gas system. It's obviously not a recoil monster or anything like that. It's very shootable still, and the parts are still holding up. There's lots of guys with 10, 15,000 rounds through them. So is it a huge deal? No. But if I had to on a 16-inch rifle, I do prefer, but I do have others, a mid-length gas system. Just softer shooting and less wear on the parts. That's the only reason why. Best cheap AK other than a Yugo or a Wasser? I mean, in today's market, there aren't any. Not that are being imported currently. You know, 2 years ago, I would have told you an AMD was a decent rifle. It is for the money, but those aren't being imported anymore. If you're talking sub $700 for new imported guns, that's it. Yugo or Wasser, pick one. Or obviously you could go with the U.S. made guns like the Centurion 39 too. Price being the same. Price is kind of worded funny. Price being the same, in the AR platform, would you prefer a chrome moly or stainless barrel? I'm guessing you mean by that chrome moly vanadium, because there is a difference there. But we'll go with that, so like a 4150 barrel or stainless barrel, and with stainless, let's assume 416R, just for commonality, because there are variants. All things being the same, if I wanted a gun that I was going to try to maximize accuracy with, I'd want the stainless steel barrel. If I wanted a good all-around barrel, I'd go with chrome moly, preferably melanite coated. I'm a big fan of melanite. Chrome lining will do just fine as well, though. I do like the melanite. There's 3 types of barrels I generally recommend, and I do have a video series coming up in the works on how to select an AR barrel. It'll go over everything from twist rates to length to gas system to everything in a lot more detail than what we're going to do here, to materials to everything, because I get so many questions on it. But I recommend either cold hammer forged chrome line barrels like the PSA, BCM, all the FN barrels that are coming out, 416R stainless steel, or chrome moly vanadium 4150, chrome lined or melanite treated. Any of those barrels will do a great job, will last, and generally be more accurate than you are. I mean, there's FNs putting out barrels that'll shoot sub 1 inch groups that are cold hammer forged and chrome lined. So the folks out there that say chrome line barrels are less accurate, in general, perhaps they are than like a stainless steel, perhaps. That said, we're talking fractions of an inch, and can you really shoot that? Most folks can't. Let's just be real, they can't. So most folks will never notice the difference. Thoughts on adjustable gas box for AR rifles? You're adding a variable into the mix that doesn't per se need to be there. Can it work fine? Absolutely. If you guys are running suppressors, for instance, or if you're running really hot ammo that you load yourself, as well as maybe some like Wolf 55 grain or something like that, if you're mix and matching, it can certainly help. Do you need it? No, absolutely. You absolutely do not need it. And like I said, you're adding another variable, and the more variables you add to a system, the higher the chance for a problem. So it can be good, but probably not necessary unless you have a specific need, like if you're a 3-gun competitor or something, or if you're running a lot of suppressed, like I was saying. Unless you have a specific need, generally I would look the other way. But if you do have a specific need, have at it. Can you do a review? You guys don't word these questions very well. What I think he means is, can you do a review on M&P 45 versus the Glock 21? I can. Will I? Maybe. And again, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Generally, people find things because they want to know an answer. Like, I know some of you guys who are subscribed, or you subscribers generally will watch a lot of my videos anyway. Whatever I put up, and I appreciate that, by the way. But if you're searching for Smith & Wesson M&P, you don't want to see a comparison video. You want to see a Glock 21 video. That's kind of how I look at it. And there's always, especially when you have two good products like an M&P 45 versus a Glock 21, there's not always a better. And people always say, which is better? And I'm like, I don't freaking know, man, because what's better for me might not be better for you. Those guns, I would say they're equal in pretty much every category, but some of you may shoot the M&P better, whereas I personally shoot the Glock 21 better. Does that mean the Glock 21 is a better gun or more accurate gun? No, hell no. In my hands, probably a better gun for me. But I love the M&P 45 too, so that's just a good example. There's not always a better, and when I reach a conclusion, it may not be the conclusion you reach. So that's kind of why I generally don't do comparison videos. I do have a Glock 21 versus 1911 video somewhere in my hard drive, though. One day I'll get to it. All right, we'll do the last. We'll get to the last question here to keep these ones watchable. So the S has hit the fan. So it says you get 4 YouTubers as part of your group. What's this? Okay, so four YouTubers as part of your group. Who are they and why? YouTubers. Okay, off the top of my head, we're gonna go with Rich Graham, Travis Haley, and Kyle DeFore. And four. Okay, so we'll include me in this. So okay, so 4 of us. Yeah, those are the guys I'd go with, and why? Why? They're all relatively young, healthy folks, and they've all passed some sort of special operations screening criteria. You can teach anybody to shoot, move, and communicate. Some will obviously do it better than others, but you can teach that. But what you can't teach is heart. You can't teach will, and you can't teach drive, and you can't teach don't quit. You can improve on it, you can practice it, but there is an intrinsic function of that some people have and other people simply don't have. So those folks who have passed that barrier through a special operations selection course, it's a baseline that I know that, if they get shot in the leg or if they get shot in the hip or whatever, they're not just going to sit there and cry like little bitches. They're going to get up and fight and help the effort to neutralize the threat. So that would be why. I'm sure there's other folks out there who haven't gone through those courses who certainly have that. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, look at all the Medal of Honor winners. How many of them have done that? A small percentage. So there's certainly folks out there that are capable of other things, but it does give you a baseline set standard. I'd probably miss someone on those, but those 3 guys, I'd feel comfortable with their skill set and their mindset, having them by my side. I guess that'll do it though for time's sake, guys. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, post them in the comments section. Always, you can post over at my Facebook page. But thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Hope this answered some of your questions. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you in the next video.